What's up, guys? So today I'm going to explore the possible outcome if Bernie Sanders was the nominee for the Democrats in the 2020 election. Now, things would be a bit different. First of all, Bernie does not have the same establishment appeal as Biden has, and he might have a better appeal among certain groups of voters, especially millennials, while Biden is doing better among African American voters. So I've already filled in the more safe states, so let's go to the likely states. First of all, Bernie Sanders, he would still win. No, Donald Trump, sorry, would still win the state of Texas, likely. I don't think that the big cities would really reject Bernie's message. Trump would still win the state comfortably, along with the state of Georgia, because Georgia does not have a big, significant minority voter base. There's a big African American base, but Bernie does not really enthuse the African American communities, so he would not be able to carry that. Then we go to the state of Oregon. The state of Oregon would also be likely. It would probably be a bit closer, maybe 6 or 7 points instead of 9 to 10. Bernie would still take the state, but Trump would definitely eat into and maybe even win 2 congressional seats instead of only the most conservative eastern seat in the state of Oregon. Next we go to the state of let's just go to the states on the east coast. I think that Delaware, which is Biden's home state, it will be quite reluctant to support Bernie. It's more of a corporatist place, and if Bernie was the nominee, he would have to defeat Biden, which would not make him very popular in Delaware. So I still think that he would win, but it would be a lean margin. In New Jersey, I also think it would be lean. There is a lot of casinos there. Trump would not win the state, but he could really narrow it down. It depends. I don't think either would really campaign in New Jersey. And I think that Rhode Island and Connecticut would be likely. If you remember that Trump had a rally in southern New Jersey, where there were people from Delaware and the area around that came. He had Jeff Van Drew, and so that's that. Now, let's go to the state of Ohio, which I think is still a likely state to go to Donald Trump if Bernie is the nominee. He might have some appeal with the working class, but I think that in Ohio people are mostly more conservative and care more about the well-being of the economy. Because even though Bernie would tax the rich and distribute their wealth, that would not help the economy. The economy would not be better for that reason. Now, another state that I would see go to Trump likely in this scenario is the state of North Carolina. Now, a more moderate candidate like Obama or Biden or Clinton could come close to win the state or almost win it like Obama did in 08, but Bernie is not that type of candidate. He would not do well among moderate voters and independents, and that's why Trump is going to, if this was to happen, win that state by what you may call a likely margin, more than 5 points, like Bush did a couple of times. Then, of course, you may expect that the state of Florida will go to Trump by around the same margin. Now, Bush won this by 5 points in 2004, even though he was not running against a socialist. A socialist will do even worse among the Hispanic community, especially the Cuban community, that is usually more conservative, and they would probably turn out much more for Trump. I could see Trump in that case carrying both of the counties, both where Tampa and St. Petersburg is located, and do much better in the southern area, while of course holding on to the Panhandle and his gains in the I-4 corridor. Now let's go to the western parts of the country. Colorado, I still believe, would go to Bernie. No, sorry. Like that, by a lean margin. He did win the primary there. There are a lot of millennials and I guess you could say a lot of establishment too, but there is also a weed industry. Trump is not really a good fit for the state of Colorado. He did lose it by less than 5 points to Hillary Clinton, but I don't think that's much to brag about. He did lose a state that George Bush won twice, and he didn't do that well back then, but I think that it could be even, the margin could be even bigger this time, but not if Bernie is the nominee. Now, in the state of Arizona, I still think that Trump will win. It is, of course, the most conservative of the four western states that we are now talking about. There's a lot of moderates here, independents that sort of like blue dog Democrats and rhino Republicans. So that will go to Trump because Bernie would not really appeal to the moderate voters in Phoenix. Nevada would also go to Trump. Bernie might have some more big chance there, but he will have to make a turnout in Las Vegas, which is a casino city. It's a place where people get married, and the millennial vote would not really favor him enough to win that state. But it would still be close. Going over to the state of New Mexico. This one is complicated because there are a lot of conservative Latinos there that may have different opinions on stuff like abortion, on gay rights, than Bernie's voters have. And I think that Trump could take it in a tilt column. And that would be a very big leap from 2016. But that is what you could expect if Bernie is a nominee, because he does not have much of minority appeal. His base has usually been most young white millennials, students and stuff. So more grown-up Latinos, I think, could easily sway this state in the direction of Trump. Now, in the state of Iowa, I don't know if Bernie has huge plans to deal with the tariffs or how it would affect policies, but I think that Trump would win the state. The question is by how much. Okay, he did win it by 10 points last time. Now he'll probably do something like that again. Maybe even less, maybe between 5 and 10, somewhere. I don't really know specifically how much the tariffs affected Iowa voters, for good or for worse. Now, in New Hampshire, that's a state that both Bernie and Trump should have a decent shot at winning, but I think it will go to Trump in a lean margin. It's not really a state that would reject Bernie's socialism that much, but you can see that change. And the state of Maine, the second district would go to Trump by a likely margin. At large, that would be tilt, and Bernie would take the first district, because that is very democratic. I mean, even though Trump won the second district by 10 points, the state still went to Clinton, so Bernie will hold on. Now we are down to the 5 remaining states. First of all, Wisconsin is a state where Bernie actually did upset Hillary Clinton in 2016, but he did not really do that well in 2020. So I believe that it has something to do with him going more left socially. That did not turn out to be a good idea for him in the state of Wisconsin. I think Trump would win that state. It would be by a likely margin. He has made a lot of promises kept for the people in Wisconsin. You have the Foxconn plants. And it turns out that the people in the usually democratic parts of southwestern Wisconsin is a good fit for Trump's type of populism. Now, going to the state of Pennsylvania, Trump will also win the state of Pennsylvania. It would be more narrow, but he would come out on top. The state of Virginia is a state that would be very hard for the Republicans to win, even if Bernie was the nominee. But I will keep it on tilt Sanders, because I know that there are establishment people here. Maybe if it was 2016, Trump could win it over Bernie, but I just don't see it happen in the Arlington area. The Washington DC suburbs are constantly growing, so I would not really bet on that going any other way. Now, the state of Michigan would also go to Trump, as well as the state of Minnesota. And the reasoning for all this is, well, it's quite simple actually. Trump, he has made a lot of gains from where Romney was in those states. They trended tremendously in his direction from 2012 to 2016, and I have no reason to believe that they would stop because Bernie was the nominee. It would be an election to reject Bernie's type of ideology. And of course, I missed the second district of Nebraska, which would go to Trump lean, And there we have it. So 205 for Comrade Bernie, 333 for Donald Trump. I was not trying to hit that number, that just happened. Anyways, that's it for me today, guys. Hope you have a nice day and see you soon.